this. Don't miss anything. I'm going to kind of stall a little bit. Weren't tonight's calls just really practical and good? Like just put a 2 in the chat if you took down anything for your client support or anything for your coach support, right? Just the way that you're guiding others. I thought it was cool. I just grabbed a little image. I use this thing called Text Art. It's just an app, and you can put anything in there, like Ninja, or you could put anything, a wall, like, you know, you want to have different things. And it's really great because sometimes when I want to say to a client, like, I really want you to start living out loud, because you're kind of being a ninja with, you know, your changes. That was a cool way that they phrased it. I'll kind of lighten the message by maybe sending them that little ninja and saying, I want to talk to you about this on your check-in. And it's just a visual, like they'll, you know, those kind of things help. So anytime you learn something on a call and you want to like put it out in your feed, that's something that helps me retain the information. So I'm just going to share that with you. And it's called Text Art. Awesome. Okay. Well, I think we're about there. So I am going to start our meeting and get us going. Let me share my screen. This is a training tonight, a little bit of a training, a lot of good stuff to announce, some housekeeping as well. Just stuff to be aware of as we head down the month. And so let me go ahead and get this started. So obviously at the bottom, I do want to point this out. We were knee deep in kind of launching this. And when we launched the Engage, Empower, Equip, Ego in Check, that's really going to be our method for 2022 as we lead all the leaders on this team, right? And really try to add value and make our training very clear. So we got started on that. And then the 5 weeks to ED came out. So we hadn't done a lot with it, but I want you guys to really know that this is something that we're going to be very clear about, very intentional about, so that every time you get on a training with us, you'll say that was good for my engagement, or maybe that was good for my empowerment. Maybe that was really good equipping tonight, or God, that was just good for my ego, you know? And it gives us some framework. And I want you to challenge yourself to also think about that for your clients. So as you think about your clients and you have 10 minutes in a Zoom, did you help them engage them? You know, did you help empower them? Did you equip them with something they did not know how to do? And did you help them keep their ego in check? That's something really good to kind of add, you know, to your client check-ins. I know tonight we have a couple of shares. Anytime we just finish doing something, we just finished a call today that was really cool. Jamil offered himself to us today, kind of last minute, hey, I'm doing this for my team. And it was a really intense, I would say, and very in-depth training on what's possible in our business. And he was pretty unplugged, and he shared his back office, and he shared his struggles. And he shared, how do we get from that employee mindset to an investor's mindset? He did record it, but because there was so much information shared that was very numbers-based, compliance, it may not be a fully compliant call. And so we don't know if we'll get to see it. But a few of you said that you would share today from that call what it shifted in you. And so we'll go ladies first with Michelle Singleton. And if you could share for us what you learned, and then we'll head over to Patrick. And if you guys wouldn't mind that, I'm going to stop our share here and we'll come back into our PowerPoint. So Michelle, can you just share any of the shifts that you had?
Yeah, sorry, it's time for me to eat. You know, I really did enjoy that quite a bit. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I have been for so many years. So I was never really in an employee before I started Optavia, not for a while anyways. But I really enjoyed the fact where he said, you know, what did he say? He said something like, how much do you love your job? Is your job your captivity? Is it keeping you where you are and unable to move forth, so I kind of like just looked at the word job as kind of like my comfort zone. I'm like, oh, okay. So for me, my comfort zone, that's kind of like holding me captive, because I'm very comfortable in certain aspects. And so I'm like, okay, I kind of know that I need to let that go. I don't know if that made sense to anybody else, but it really, really made sense to me. Another thing that I really liked him saying is he said, what kind of life do you want to live? He said, what kind of legacy do you want to leave? And then, do you want normalcy? And do you want to be free from everything? Do you want freedom? Do you, go big? Don't let it be holding you captive anymore. So I kind of really, really appreciated the word captive this morning. I kind of took that with me. So I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to put on my sponsoring cap, and I'm going to try my very best.
I love that.
Yeah.
So good, Michelle. Awesome. Thank you so much. And yeah, it's in our nature to shrink. Okay. Stay quiet, sit down, only speak when you're spoken to. Some of us come from environments where it was very, very, very normal and pushed for us to stay small, stay off the radar, don't get noticed, just get in line physically, right? And not just metaphorically. So it is, give yourself grace for the fact that breaking out of that is very challenging. And you can attain really great things and stay extremely humble. You really can. So Patrick, I'm looking for you. Where are you? There we go. All right. Would you share with us what shifted you today?
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Michelle. You kind of took some of my thunder, but that's okay. Great minds think alike. Thank you, Rachel. Kudos to our coaches, Tim and Rachel. Always celebrate you guys, because without you, we wouldn't be here. So thank you so much for the opportunity to share. One of the things that kind of, resonated with me and with us was overcoming the limiting mindset belief. Overcoming the limiting mindset belief, right? And he talked about leverage your mindset, overcoming that that mindset that I have to settle for so little, because that's what I've always done. I've settled for a paycheck. We're coming from that work mindset where I'm satisfied with that. I work and every 2 weeks I'm going to get that check. And so there's this limited mindset that we come into Optavia with. And we even come into it with losing weight. I'm just going to lose the weight to fit into this dress. Or I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to be a senior coach. Or I limit again, I'm just going to get, if I could just get to ED, I'll be fine. And so we limit, right? And what we do is that we don't really dream. We tell people really dream big, take the limits. Dreams have no limits. And when we ask questions like, tell me what you do if the things that you desire in Optavia would come through, and they're like, I really can't think about that right now. And so we have that limited mindset. So he says what we ought to do was change how we think, right? And if we change our mindset, the things that we focus on happens, right? So if, I know a lot of us, he talked about when he came in, he was like, he was, by himself, so it's racing along, but really wasn't building a team. That was a limited mindset. Do it by myself, but that's not sustainable. And what he says is just get yourself around a bunch of people, get yourself around a whole bunch of people, get yourself, where you could develop individuals and people that are going in your directions, partner. Have a system that works. Our system at Optavia is just foolproof, and it only, crashes and burns when we decide to take another direction instead of doing the system. And so once what we focus on becomes our reality. And the truth of the matter, what you were saying, that we focus on acquiring clients, and that's fine. And he's not saying not to acquire clients, but acquiring coaches and then building those coaches is what give you leverage in your business and allow your business to grow where you're not working so much and other people are working. And we call it residual, right? Where, and you're saying, if I stop working right now, all these coaches that have $1 million businesses like the Richards, right? They're not going to quit. They're going to keep on working. But you know what? He's going to still continue to be successful if he never worked another day in Optavia, because what? He has created leverage in his business. So we have to move from that employee mindset to that business owner mindset where we own the system and we become investors where we own investments. And that's where we have success. Thanks for allowing me to share.
Oh, thank you. That was super good. And absolutely. So it's normal for you to start with an employee mindset. It's normal. Like, recognize it. I think that's the big thing. Your mentors will recognize it and they'll see it before you do. And that's where the trust the process comes in. And you got to know that your mentors love you, right? They could just be off building their businesses, but they're taking time to come in and say, hey, I don't know if you see this, but this looks like that. And we can either get offended or we could get addicted to feedback and go, man, they must care, because why would they come in my thread and point something out when they could just be over there building their business, right? So it is a true story that we care enough to say, ooh, that looks like scarcity, or ooh, that looks like this, right? And if you get in that space where you're managed ego, then you can hear the truth of that mentor's heart and know it's because they love you and they know what's at stake. So he gave us a lot of that today, right? He gave us a lot of like, you had to know that Jamil loves us to be able to hear what he had to say. And it would be easy to get offended. But offended doesn't lead to breakthrough, guys. It just doesn't. We kind of got to lose that. So we don't kind of got to lose it. We got to lose it all together and be addicted to feedback. So I am going to get back in my little share here. And on that note, I'm going to start right there. We don't acquire clients. We produce a people in service to their why. We don't just get clients. That's not the point. We're bringing them in for growth. We are growth coaches. We are here to grow them. If they come in and they're not growing, something's wrong. If we bring a coach in, we don't get coaches. We get people to grow. If your business is not growing, it's usually because you're shrinking somewhere as a person. And so tonight, I want to bridge that gap and really share some things that were on my heart about fundamentals, because I love you guys and I want what you want. I want what you want. And I don't want you to feel like you failed just because things get hard. You only fail if you quit when they get hard, right? Like they said tonight, coaches don't fail at the business. They just quit too soon. So let's talk about that. So I want to get back to basics. Your personal journey is what qualified you for the mission. That's all that you needed. You just needed a personal journey that you could share from that makes you the authority on your story, and it qualified you for the mission. Everything else you think you need, every soft skill, every algorithm, every other thing, it really comes down to your personal journey is what qualified you for the mission. And that's why when we say everyone needs to coach, it's because they have a story and they have a crowd that wants to hear from them. Like they said tonight, no one buys Optavia. They don't even know about Optavia. They know you, they bought you. So it's your story that they're buying. So let's head back to the basics tonight, get that really basic mentality. We're going to kindergarten and we're going to really look at some of the things that could be affecting our March or maybe even your February. And we're going to be curious, but we're not going to be critical, because critical has no good and it's not necessary. We can be curious about things without the condemning and talking trash to ourselves, okay? So your personal growth is what creates a healthy business. So yes, your personal journey qualified you for the mission, but what will qualify your business is constant personal development, always, okay? So let's see. If I'm buying you today, and I'm not buying Optavia because I don't even know about Optavia, I'm gonna ask you these questions. How are you guys doing on your personal journey? Am I asking you that to get all in your business and figure out, are you at a healthy weight or this or that? No, no, and no. I'm asking, how are you doing? How are you doing? Are you having fun? Are you growing? Because you know what? I want you to go back with me mentally to your smash goal moment. Do you guys remember? Some of you have been here a while, and I will tell our newer coaches tonight that there will be value for you, but I'm really speaking to some of our vets. Okay. I really am. But everyone will get something. Okay. So just listen for it. Keep that open, coachable, curious heart. So go back with me mentally to your smash goal moment where you were like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing a 6-pack. Oh, I just hit my healthy BMI. I can't believe I'm getting off medication or it's reducing. How were your health assessments back then? Go back with me. How were your posts? What kind of energy was behind them? What people were noticing and asking and commenting because you had something that was commanding attention, right? We tell our authentic story. What is your story right now? How are you doing in your life book? And not for homework's sake, but because it's shifting you, or maybe your surroundings have changed, or maybe something has changed in you, right? And as some of you might right now might be like, oh my gosh, please don't, not tonight. I've backslid. That's okay. Can you use your backslide to have a slingshot into your business and live that sucker out loud and regroup? What kind of accountability would come from that? What kind of a relaunch? How did you behave in fat burn? Maybe you're at a healthy weight, but you're starting to have a dirty plan, right? So it's a dirty 5 and 1. It's a dirty 4 and 2. It's just not where you want to be. We promise that we optimize. We promise that we go to ultra health. And so I'm really lovingly asking you to see the connection between how you're doing and how your business is doing. Okay. What type of humility will be in that ownership and knowing that vulnerability is always going to precede greatness. Okay. Maybe some of you are operating in this is good enough. I don't really need muscle tone. I don't really need to learn how to do this or that. And it's just, we're complacent. And so maybe our complacency is coming out in our algorithms, right? So there's some connection there. So listen, we don't climb the mountain. So if you're like, well, I have to regroup and climb that mountain. Okay. We don't climb it so that people will see us. We climb the mountain so we can see them. That's the shift of our mission, is that when we're climbing that mountain, you guys, we can see who's not there. And we're like, oh, so-and-so and this person and my pastor and then his wife, right? You guys remember when you were on fire and you just couldn't stop thinking of people? It was because you were climbing the mountain and therefore you could see more people that needed our program. So let's talk about how, if we get back on our health, here's fundamentals. Are you guys working off of a heart list? Or are you still engaging in this shotgun approach to your business? If you are, you're going to forget people and lose track of who's on your heart and on your mind. You won't see who's watching you because you're not taking a list down of who's watching. So you're missing the people that are trying to buy you. They're actually giving their vote with every like and every follow, and they're just getting lost in social media land because we don't have a system for them. Okay. 100s list challenge is coming at the end of our call, TBD, park that. But guys, media posting does not make you social. I see lots of you that are posting, but media does not make you social. The conversations make you social. So for many of you, if you're like, oh, my client acquisition is not where I want it to be, I did not bring on this many clients, it just means that the connection points were not there. And maybe things are getting lost in the shuffle. If you are doing all of the things, let me put a huge disclaimer out there. If you're like, no, Rachel, I'm doing all the things. I'm having the conversations. I have a 100s list. I am keeping track of all my stuff. I'm doing the work, I'm planning the work, I'm doing the plan, then guess what? It may have been that you took a couple months off and you're back at it, and we do have a lag in our business. It's usually 2 to 3 months, okay? So it's what we were doing in November and December that makes up our February. So I really want to get back to those basics. I have a question for you tonight. If you submitted in your business thread, your hundreds list, your intentionality list, how many people would be on it? If it would it be old and archaic? Like if you were to say, these are the people that I am being intentional about, how many people would be on that list? And could you show it, right, to your mentors, not for micromanaging, not for like, here you go, boss, because you don't have a boss. Your boss is your dream. You answer to your dream. You don't answer to anybody around here, but your mentors are there to help you process those things that will get in the way. Okay. But if you were to show your heart list, how many people would be on there that you're having conversations with, right? Shoot for 100. That's a fundamental in our business. All right. Let's talk about client support. These are the fundamentals of empowerment. Do you share the client's role and your role on a Zoom during the night before call? Do they have responsibilities, and do they know what they are? And is that clearly communicated? Do you share hard truths and the shifts that you've had in using the full program? Things like saying, Patrick, I understand that you're very busy, but you know what? I wore busy as a badge too, and it got me 50 pounds overweight. And I want to help you to do things that are really foreign and uncomfortable, because that will be the evidence of change. And if we don't do them, if we don't, you will lose the weight. The program is that good, but you will gain all of it back with a vengeance, my friend. Do you say hard things, or do you just hope to God you don't lose the order, right? Does every client have a set time weekly that they check in with you? Do they know what to have on that check-in? Do they know that they need to be in a place of good reception where they can get value on that call? Are you coach? If you're a coach and you're not a senior coach, is your mentor doing your 1 week call with your client? How are you posturing team coaching and the 2 week call? And how soon are you locking it in? Are you chasing your mentors down like on day 12, hoping they have an opening on their calendar, right? That's not structure. Structure is you are on the night before call and you say this, Cherie, remember on your health assessment when I promised you team coaching, I said we had one-on-one and we had team coaching. I am so excited for your 14-day call. We actually need to book that tonight, because my mentors are truly amazing and they are going to give you so much value on that call, but they book up fast like any good coach does. Okay, so get your calendar out, and I'm going to grab theirs, and we're going to shoot for a couple times, and I'm going to lock them in on day 14, day 15, because they are going to help you stay in momentum. I am so excited for you to meet them. You're going to love them. On that call, I'll talk very little because I still learn every time they talk. If you're not talking like that, people are going to say, yeah, I just prefer to talk to you. I don't know how they could prefer it unless we made it an option, right? So just take a walk with that. Do you meet with them on Zoom and ensure that their second order is done well? I go on there on the Zoom at the end of the first week. We take the kit out, we add snacks, we add infusers, we add lean and greens. We change it to 22 boxes and we save that sucker. And my projected volume goes way up month 2 with that client. Okay, so this is when you see the leaderboard, people always assume I'm adding a lot of clients monthly. I am not. I am just increasing the orders and making sure that they're done properly so that I don't have to chase new clients every single month. I obviously love to add 5, but I'm giving you what I do and you can either adopt it or you cannot, but this is what's going to help you guys run a healthy business. Do you have them experience the community before their kit arrives? Or do you wait for the kit to arrive? Are you talking about food after they've been on program 1 week? So tonight we're getting back to fundamentals, okay? So those are fundamentals. Lastly, ego. Is your ego in check? We can either have a mission mindset or ego, but we can't, you cannot be in love with the mission and also have an ego. Those two things don't go together. So let's talk about fundamentally, what could ego be looking like in your business? And this is something I would just take a screenshot. I'm not going to read all of these off for sake of time, but I spent time today prepping for this call and thinking, where does ego ruin the mission? Where does he show up and kind of mess things up? Okay. A couple of them are going to be avoiding team coaching. You know, these are my clients. I know what's best for them. With all the love in the world, you don't, because you might be too close to them too. And they might need that outsider who's not afraid to stay true to the mission and what we see as transformation specialists and say, you know what? I know you're shy, Dobby. I know you're shy. Haha, we know Dobby's not shy, but let's pretend that she was. I might tell her, did you know that shy, holding on to that, may be what you choose instead of breakthrough, because living out loud for permanent health is something that is going to give you that breakthrough. If it's a secret, if you're shy and nobody knows, how easy will it be to quit on yourself, right? So I'm going to challenge her ego, right? And then the last one is your fear of not knowing the answer. I don't know the answer all day, you guys. I'm like, Tiffany Howard, help me. Doug Wood, help me. Dan Valentine, help me. If I wasn't in this help me mindset, I would be an awful leader for you guys with Tim, because I have to learn that word, help me. I don't know what I'm doing all the way. I need help, and I need to be wrong, and I need to fail forward. And I don't want to be afraid of not knowing the answer. So just, this is my little team. I expose my weaknesses and I say, help me, because I don't want to do a disservice to my team by being, unafraid to make mistakes. Okay. So here's some reminders. Also should take a screenshot of this. We have our hike on Friday. We are meeting at Aldergate Park because Jamil Frazier has been looking forward to that. He wanted to go this last week, and we were going to combine with some of his team. And so we kept it there because he was looking forward to that, and we didn't have it for a couple of weeks. So we'll do that. And then after that, we really need to scope out some new spots. So for those of you that have been coming, we'd love some new spots. Saturday, the 26th, this Saturday, we have 2 opportunities to equip yourself and your clients. One, the Health and Hope event at Justin Avini's home. It's at 9 until 12. This is where we're going to share the trilogy. So if you're in the SoCal area and you've got clients that you want to think about coaching, if you've got people that just want coaching, if you've got team members that need to be around other coaches and learn our culture, this is a great event. Okay. It's going to be at Justin's home this Saturday. We're going to start these up again. We used to do them a long time ago and we got away from it rather, and we're bringing it back. Book club is on. Allison Ringeman is going to lead us through element 11 or 12. She'll let me know how she's pacing with that. And then Saturday at 7 a.m., instead of having an encore training, we are going to get back into fundamentals. We're going to get the fun back, and we'll be in the Bombas room at 7 o'clock. So we're going to start making sure that the trainers, those that have coaches or want coaches, that you guys are being trained. Power hours, we will buckle down the plan for March. For now, this week, Julie Russell is teaching Power Hour. It will be in her Zoom room, and she's going to go over how to use your map as you head down the stretch and also prep for March. She's got some amazing soft skills and tips for you guys. She's extending herself to the team to do that. So that will be on. But for after that, we are going to look at a couple things. It feels like everyone's doing the work and can be independent with that power hour work now. And you can bring it in to your business hours, right? So you don't have to say, well, I'm going to start my conversations and do all this at 1 o'clock on Monday. We want to give you time freedom. So if your business hours are 8 to 10 a.m., we don't want you waiting around for a power hour to do your work, okay? So more to come on that. We may have one a week that the global team is hosting and some of the leaders, but stay tuned. Michelle and I are still working that out. And then lastly, convention early bird registration is ending next Monday. Mark your calendar. Don't forget to save that $50. If you register after that, it's going to go up $50. The last thing is, and I'm trying to rush through this, we're going to run a couple minutes late, is Tim and I are sponsoring a hundreds list challenge. Okay. So make a new hundreds list unless you just did it. Refresh that sucker. Make sure it's everybody that's been watching you on Instagram and your stories and your post and your roll calls. Go back and audit all that. Okay. And look at who's actually watching you and create a brand new hundreds list. Drop that in your business thread as soon as you can get it done. And start 15 conversations a day until Monday, next Monday, when we do our team call. And not the, hey, you want to do my program kind of conversations. Connect authentically, right? And cultivate trust. And obviously, if they ask you about program, and you're on that track, great. But we really are building a whole new network of followers and we're connecting authentically. Take 5 of those conversations over the challenge period from today until Monday night team call. 5 of them, screenshot the conversation going on and put it in your business thread. We will put everybody in that has their 5 in and their hundreds list in. We'll draw a name Monday and we're giving away a $250 American Express card for whoever has it in or one. All of you will be winners for getting a new hundreds list, being consistent, and seeing how we're paid to just connect with people and brave connection and keep our health on point. So tonight, guys, really before we jump off, my plea was, where are you at with your fundamentals? And I really do want to call them fundamentals, because if you're not having fun, healing your body, healing your mind, healing your finances, it's gonna come through and you are going to chase rank and chase the income and you're gonna lose the impact. And so tonight, I just wanted to give you a checklist of things that are so vital to bringing back that success in your business that you've once had. And if you need a health coach again, then tell your mentor, hey, that's me. I've fallen off the wagon. I'm not where I want to be in my physical health. And I see the connection in my business and I want to do something about it. Okay. You always have a health coach, always. And then you have a business coach. So this is the beauty of our program, right? And then starting conversations and really becoming a master of the basics. I hope that this was helpful. I will get it recorded or take the recording and put it in our organic for anybody that missed it. But we love you guys and let's just finish strong. And if you're not where you want to be this month, that's okay. Just don't quit, even when you don't see the evidence. That's the key to this business. If you don't think that I've had months where I'm like, I can't see it. I can't see it. In 5 years, I've had a lot of those, but I just said it doesn't matter because I'm going to trust the process and keep going and really who's next and just brave that connection. So we love you guys. Have a great night. And Julie, we'll see you guys on Power Hour at 1 o'clock in our Zoom room on Wednesday. All right. Awesome. Take care.